The last thing Emily remembered from the night before was the eerie silence that had settled over the bus. It was a silence so profound that it seemed to press against her eardrums, amplifying every heartbeat and breath she took. Then, just as abruptly as it had begun, the silence was shattered by a blood-curdling scream from the woman who sat directly in front of her. The woman's face, which had been pale and drawn, ashen in the dim glow of the streetlights, suddenly contorted with terror. Her eyes, wide and vacant, stared straight ahead, reflecting the horror that seemed to consume her. And then she was gone. Or rather, she wasn't there anymore. Emily gasped, scrambling back in her seat, as if she could escape the phantom limb of the woman's presence. But it wasn't just the woman who had vanished. All around her, the other passengers, the driver included, had seemingly disappeared as well. The man seated beside her a moment ago was now nothing but a wisp of an apparition, fading into the tapestry of the seat next to him. The once bustling bus had transformed into a spectral tableau, but Emily wasn't alone. There she was sitting alone in the belly of a ghost bus, hurtling through the nocturnal labyrinth of New York City streets. The driver, whose face was etched with the grim lines of weariness and age, continued his silent vigil over the wheel. His knuckles were white against the worn leather, his eyes fixed on the road ahead, devoid of any flicker of recognition for the spectacle unfolding around him. Emily wanted to call out, to break the suffocating quiet with her voice, but her throat was hoarse. Her own reflection staring back at her from the darkened glass was distorted. Like a specter, a ghost in the machine of the city's night. She was trapped in a nightmare, where the city's nocturnal pulse had become its vibrant energy replaced by an oppressive, chilling silence. The hum of the engine was the only sound that dared intrude on the heavy quiet, a monotonous rhythm that echoed the relentless pounding of her heart. Just when she thought the silence would become her undoing, a sudden screech of tires pierced the stillness. The bus lurched to a halt, and the doors hissed open. Emily hesitated, torn between the impulse to flee and the morbid curiosity that held her captive. Outside, the familiar sights of the city seemed alien in the pallid light of dawn. The deserted streets were a graveyard of shadows, and the buildings loomed like specters against the gray sky. With a deep breath, Emily stepped off the bus, each footstep on the pavement resounding like a drumbeat in the oppressive quiet. She looked back at the bus, half expecting to see it vanish like the passengers had, but it was still there, a silent monolith in the pale light of dawn. The doors hissed closed, sealing whatever horrors lay within its shadowy depths. As Emily walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, that unseen eyes were tracking her every move. The city, once a sanctuary of bustling life, now felt like a haunted labyrinth. The sun, struggling to pierce the heavy clouds, cast long, distorted shadows that danced menacingly around her. With each step, the events of the previous night, the ghostly passengers, the unnerving silence, the spectral driver, all came crashing back to her. The chill of the morning air could uncompare to the icy grip of fear that had taken hold of her. She tried to shake off the memory of the eerie blue glow that had emanated from the bus's interior, a hue that seemed to belong more to the realm of nightmares than the real world. The normalcy of the city around her, the chirping of birds, the distant hum of traffic, the murmur of people going about their daily lives, seemed jarringly at odds with the haunting spectacle she had just witnessed. The question that clawed at her mind was, how could what she had seen, the ghostly passengers, the spectral driver, even the ethereal glow of the bus itself, be anything but a figment of her imagination? Or was she truly witnessing a horrifying reality hidden beneath the city's bustling facade? Days turned into weeks, yet the memory of the ghost bus lingered in Emily's mind like a specter haunting her waking hours. Sleep offered no escape, for the silence of her dreams was often broken by the screech of tires and the whisper of disembodied voices. The city, once her sanctuary, had become a minefield of anxiety. Every bus she passed, every silhouette that loomed against the setting sun triggered a jolt of fear, a desperate hope. That it wasn't the ghost bus, that it wasn't the harbinger of the horrors she had endured that fateful night. Emily found herself confiding in no one, fearing that her story would be dismissed as a product of an overactive imagination. In the hushed solitude of her apartment, she would trace the memory of the city, retracing the route of the ghost bus, examining every street corner, every shadow, seeking a rational explanation, a crack in the facade of the supernatural. But the city held its secrets close, and the silence of its inhabitants was a testament to the specter that
haunted Emily's waking moments.
Then one day, as she delved into the archives of local news stories, she stumbled upon an article that sent a shiver down her spine. Published decades ago, it chronicled the disappearance of several people on board a city bus under eerily similar circumstances. The passengers had simply vanished, leaving behind a driver who claimed to remember nothing. Despite extensive investigations, the case had gone cold, becoming a local urban legend. Emily felt a chill. Could the ghost bus be more than a figment of her imagination? Was it a malevolent entity that preyed on unsuspecting passengers? Driven by a desperate need for answers, Emily began frequenting the locations frequented by the bus routes, hoping for a glimpse, any glimpse of the spectral vehicle. Days bled into weeks, mirroring the haunting cycle of Emily's past. Then one evening, as twilight began to stain the sky in hues of purple and orange, she saw it. The ghost bus rumbled to a stop in front of her, its windows dark, its presence a palpable chill in the air. Emily hesitated, torn between the primal urge to flee and the magnetic pull of morbid curiosity. She knew the dangers, the vanishing passengers, the spectral driver, yet she found herself drawn to the bus, compelled by an unseen force. As the doors hissed open, she saw the driver, his face ashen, his eyes vacant, beckoning to her. A part of her screamed in terror, urging her to run, to disappear into the labyrinthine streets of the city. Yet another part, driven by a morbid fascination, compelled her forward. The choice, as always, was hers. Would she succumb to the haunting melody of the city's night and vanish into the abyss of the unknown? Or would she defy the spectral summons and strive to reclaim her life from the clutches of the ghost bus? But now, standing before the spectral bus, the choice was agonizingly real. Too bored or not too bored? That was the question. The bus waited, a silent, spectral sentinel against the dying light of dusk. Its presence, a palpable chill in the air, promising horrors beyond human comprehension. The decision was hers, fraught with peril, yet essential to her survival. For, in choosing to board the ghost bus, she might find answers, but she risked eternal damnation. Choosing to flee meant enduring a lifetime of fear, forever haunted by the specter of the unknown.